Well, I said to Clark, we got to get Eddie Steele on. Let's get him on with the Edmonton Elks breaking the bubble last week, winning in Hamilton, snapping a 13-game losing streak, but they still have the 22-game home losing streak. They bring Eddie right on. Thank you, guys. Land the plane, Rod. Eddie, man, I just want to know your take on the wild last couple weeks up there in Edmonton with the Elks. How are you feeling about things?
Yeah, it was pretty unpredictable past few weeks here. You know, obviously with the firing or mutually parting of ways with Victor Cui, and now a new hiring with Rick, them winning their first game of the year in between the whole president fiasco. So, yeah, it's been lots of action going on out here for the organization.
There will be those that think the win in Hamilton coincided with Victor Cui leaving. I've never known a president to affect on-field play ever in my life, not in one single game. What led to that win last week, do you think?
You know what? I thought they were due. Big factor that led to the W is Hamilton's just not that great of an organization right now themselves. They're not playing the best football, but you could see the momentum starting to build for the Elks. A few weeks, or the week before the win against Hamilton, they played Winnipeg really tough. They were up 22-0 at half against Winnipeg. And even before that, they had been playing some pretty good football. It's not like they had just been some team that just can't even show up for a game. They've been competitive. Yeah, they're the bottom feeder, but they have been competitive, and they haven't been able to string together 4 good quarters of football. Well, they finally were able to do that against Hamilton, and lo and behold, they got the dub. So it's not something that a switch just flicked. The momentum had been building, and I'm calling my shot right now. I'm thinking that Edmonton's going to beat Ottawa this Sunday at home for the first win of the rebrand to the Elks. Their home fans will see it.
Well, I got to tell everybody, go follow Eddie on Twitter because he's a must follow at Eddie Steele. Is it at Eddie Steele 97? Whatever it is, I think,
yes,
because
correct.
You let it rock on there, man, and you're like me. That's why I think we get along. You wear your heart on your sleeve. And like for the last 8 or 9 home games, you're tweeting, today's the day, they win at home. And then they don't. You must be like literally crestfallen after those home losses, Eddie. Like it just seems to kill you.
Well, it really does. And when I first did that, you know, and I get it, it's kind of worn off that luster because they've lost so many games at home after I've thought that they would. But when I first said that, it was against Toronto way back early in the season. And that was another game where they were up at halftime. They just don't know how to play 4 full quarters of good quality football. That's what's really been plaguing this team. We already know about the offensive issues. I think that horse has been beat to death. So it's refreshing to see Trey Ford, refreshing to see that spark. But this team has been playing good football. They can play good defense. So the record isn't entirely what doesn't indicate what this team has been doing in terms of the product. But again, you have to play 4 full quarters, and they haven't done that. And they finally did against Hamilton.
Eddie, I could talk to you all day. I'll try to keep it short, but I got a lot of questions for you. You were very critical of the Stephen McAdoo offense. You played on a team with him. Like, it couldn't have been easy for you to be critical, yet you were, and they made the change. So how much do you think that had to do with the win and where this team's going?
And I'll keep it real, Rod. The facts are this. The truth is the truth. Reality is reality. People aren't stupid. Numbers don't lie. So when you can see that offensively you're a bottom feeder, you're terrible, not even, quality offense is being played. I can use the word terrible because they were literally last in every statistical category, essentially, any major important category. So yeah, it is what it is. This coaching staff would be the first to tell you, if you're a player sitting in their locker room, look yourself in the mirror. You are what you are. Sure, these guys coached me, but what is that? What do I owe them if I can't speak the truth? That, if anything, that is a reflection on me. If I'm not going to speak the truth just because you coached me 6-7 years ago, we don't owe each other anything. We won a Grey Cup together, great. But the reality is, you are what you are, and I just called it like I saw it, man. And I didn't speak out of tongue. I didn't, put anybody on blast. I literally just called it like it was. And the fans see it. People see it. They see how bad the offense had been. So I wasn't saying anything that people didn't already know, man. I just brought it to light.
Yeah, well, you and I both know what happens sometimes when you do speak the truth or say the truth. You end up not on that station anymore. So kudos for you for saying that. Now, what do you say to those that say, why wasn't Trey Ford starting all year?
Yeah, and I'm a guy too. Quick little tease, side note. Going back to what you just said about speaking the truth and getting canned from that station. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Some things in the work down the pipeline here. But with Trey Ford, I'm a fool. I thought he wasn't prepared based off with what Chris Jones was saying and telling people in the media. And I spoke to some players who said that he didn't have the best training camp, didn't come in the best shape, et cetera, et cetera. But look, when the lights are on, kid's balling, man. Can't say anything else about it. He had a fantastic game against Hamilton, very efficient. Even the game against Winnipeg was pretty efficient. It was a pretty vanilla play calling game. But against Hamilton, there was a couple of deep bombs that the receivers dropped where he put the ball right on the money, right in the breadbasket. So that was encouraging to see him open it up that way too, because we know he can run. We know he can do the short RPO play action, slants across the middle, etc. But we really want to see him open it up. And with that deep ball threat, I think that makes this offense so potent.
Well, bracket. Eddie says the Elks will beat the Red Blacks on Sunday. I'll be watching. You'll be there. Eddie, you're so good at this, so I'm glad to hear something's coming down the pipe. And keep in touch, brother. Thanks for the time today.
Thanks, Rod. You take care, man. Land this jet. Come on now. You can do it.
Absolutely. It's on autopilot. Great Cup champion Eddie Steele joining us from the Alberta capital.